A while ago we were eating and suddenly from upstairs we heard a lot of noise and people screaming and running. People kind of went through the triumphal arch, the checkpoint that's there, and started running inside like a stampede. Look at how we ended up. You have no idea what an ordeal it was to get out of there. It was brutally claustrophobic. There are groups there that pickpocket. And honestly, I felt hands everywhere. They were pulling on my jacket to get their hands in, and I have my fanny pack here. I keep all my things under this. But I did feel like they were trying to lift it to take my things. Today, Mexico is playing against the Czech Republic in Mexico City. And continuing with our series, The World Cup Without a Ticket, we decided to travel from Guadalajara to Mexico City to follow the national team and see how the World Cup is experienced on the streets. And today has turned out to be very interesting because we wanted to start at the Angel of Independence early in the morning to see the before and after. And a few blocks before, the police stopped us at the corner to check that we weren't carrying any alcohol because today there's a dry law, and that's why I stopped here. In front of the OXXO because they already put up these signs that say dry law starting at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. But the funny thing is, it's still only 1 o'clock. Another thing that really caught my attention from the beginning is that the trolley buses in Mexico City are made by a Chinese company called Zhonggo Chongo Yutong. And Noelia was at the factory.
It's really impressive because inside the factory in Zhengzhou they have a track to test the buses and they almost tip them all over like this. Just imagine this thing running up a ramp that tilts it to 45 degrees.
Alright, let's start the tour. This is Pablo Shea. He's Noelia's brother, and at the same time he's our guide in Mexico City because even though we were born here, we grew up in Toluca, so Pablo Shea knows it better. Let's see how things are at the OXXO. Excuse me, is it no longer possible to buy alcohol? Can you still buy it, and can you take it to the Angel? I mean, it's normal. It's still normal. It's just that they already checked us over there on the corner. Well, thank you. It's strange because you can still buy alcohol. But over there on the corner, they already checked us. There was a checkpoint where they opened our backpacks. And with Pablo, I have to be honest with you, Pablo has a bottle of Bacardi here and they didn't see it.
I mean, we didn't bring the bottle to drink on the street. My brother lives nearby and we're going to watch the game maybe, or we were going to celebrate for a while at his house.
All the police are there. I don't know if they're also doing the checks, but I am curious to see how the night unfolds. Because last time, I understand it was a mess. It was total chaos. I saw some incredible images that really made me say, magical Mexico. But I also have to say that in Guadalajara, it wasn't any calmer. It was crazy there too. The beautiful chaos of Mexico City, how I missed it. Honestly, there's no place as surreal on the planet as Mexico City. You can already see the preparations starting. Now, I really see a lot of security personnel. When we were in Guadalajara, you didn't see so many police on the streets, but now here they're everywhere. Unlike the last match, I understand that this time there will be screens at El Ángel. I think it's to spread people out a bit. Because when we went to the Zócalo for the opening, there was nowhere to go. Honestly, there wasn't a single corner left where you could fit another fan. And I do remember that we saw some pretty chaotic scenes where there were people crying because they had to go through a bottleneck formed by the Berlin Wall that surrounded the Zócalo. So this time fans will have another place to watch the game, and I think that's going to ease the traffic over there. When will they be able to see this? You rarely get the chance to stand in such a beautiful roundabout and take a picture like this. When have you ever seen this, Pablo Chete?
Never. I was never able to walk here.
It's a special atmosphere. You can feel it in the air. And that's even though today's match doesn't really matter much anymore, right? Obviously, if Mexico wins, it benefits them, but it's not as intense. They're not playing for elimination. And still, you can feel an electric atmosphere in the city. And over there by the Angel, there are already a lot of fans wearing the jersey. Now let's allow our expert guide in Mexico City to explain where we are and why.
Well, we are on Paseo de la Reforma. This avenue was inaugurated from Chapultepec Castle so that back then, Maximilian of Habsburg's wife, Carlota, could see Maximilian arrive when he returned from his trips. Nowadays it goes from Chapultepec Forest, and on this side we have the Angel.
Here you can already see the fans. Some even bring goalposts. I see a kid over there playing soccer. You start to see wrestlers. It's still empty compared to what we'll see later, but remember, this is the before and the after is coming. Is that Mascarita Sagrada or?
It's this one.
Did you forget your idol's name? Well, come on. It's not Rey Mysterio. No, Mysterio, that's clear to me. It's definitely not Super Porky. It's not The Door, it's not La Parka either, Dr. Wagner, man. Dr. Wagner, man, how's the game going to end today? 2-0, 2-0, I think so too. Who's favored? Come on, I have to say I haven't missed a single prediction. In fact, people have commented about it, like how is it possible that he got it right? He's a wizard. Wizard from Catemaco. So from El Angel, before the event starts, I'm going to give you my prediction. I think today the game will end Mexico 3, Czechia 0. What's your prediction, Pablo Eche?
2-1 for Mexico.
Hey, Tunixpur,
The score doesn't matter. We're going to win.
put it on. Woo! Man, there's an awesome party going on here. And if you don't believe me, just ask the wrestlers. They're getting breathalyzed. Hi, excuse me. Is the breathalyzer random for everyone around here, or?
These are friendly tests. It's just so people can get to know how the devices work and the legal limit needed to drive in a city.
Of Mexico. Testing is optional, and those who test positive won't be removed.
Because they're not being taken away.
Perfect.
When Claro comes,
I remember that the limit for driving in Mexico City is 0.40, Have you had any alcohol right now? No.
I'll show myself.
There's nothing.
Perfect.
Blow steadily for 8 to 10 seconds until I say stop. Okay.
Let's see.
Is everything okay with your mouth?
Blow hard, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Harder, 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 harder. They're done.
I almost ran out of air there. 0, 0. Good.
I didn't have anything.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And later you can't drink here. No.
What we know is that there's a dry law.
There's a dry law, but does a dry law mean you can't buy alcohol? Or if I already have my own bottle, I can't drink it either? I can't drink it either. Perfect. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Excuse me, when did you arrive?
We arrived at 7 in the morning.
When did people start arriving?
Since around 8 in the morning, there are already people here. I think that right now, because of the screens, there are people who are already arriving to get settled, saving their spot.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for enriching the city's atmosphere with beautiful music. I'm excited to be back in my hometown. You might think it's fake or whatever, but it's like rediscovering our own country and suddenly hearing those familiar sounds. It excites me, I have to say. What do you think about the Angel of Independence? When will you see it like this again? When will we experience another World Cup in Mexico City? Who knows? Maybe I'll be 70 years old, maybe I'll be 80, maybe I won't get to experience it again. Before arriving, I saw photos of these flower pots filled with flowers, but now I see they have something like wood instead.
On Paseo de la Reforma, they plant various flowers. In winter, it's poinsettias, and for the World Cup, they've planted marigolds, the Day of the Dead flower. So the other day, when Mexico beat South Korea, there was chaos here. More than 500,000 people, and between the trash and people pulling out the flowers, well, that's how it ended up.
Look, it's a unique mess that I would have liked to experience. The World Cup left its mark here. There were announcements for today that said if you're going to the Angel today, rule number 1, don't wear white sneakers. Rule number 2, don't get drunk and act out. And rule number 3, don't damage state property.
The screen, usually for the number of people there are, looks small. But it seems that on the other side of the Angel, which is right where the front of the Angel of Independence is, there's a big screen all around.
It's just that on this side, which is like the back of the Angel, there's a screen, but honestly it's a bit small, and on the other side it's much bigger. They have like the DJ booth there, right? Yeah, it looks good. So they're gonna have a concert and at the same time the match, like when we were in Guadalajara for the last game, and there was a Mana concert there that was amazing and really beautiful. Noelia and I got really excited, and we had forgotten about all the hits and great songs that Mana has. I lived here until I was about 7 years old, so I never really had the chance to live here or explore the city. And now that we're back and rediscovering it, especially after the 6 years we've lived in China, there's a surprise around every corner. For example, the fact that you can see the impressive, beautiful Chapultepec Castle from the Angel area gives you goosebumps. Here they have another screen. Apparently, it's not a screen. When I heard they were going to put screens at the Angel, I thought they were going to put 1 or maybe 2, but it looks like they're surrounding the whole Angel, and the main one is obviously in front, right? Facing where the Angel looks, this one is really big. The interesting thing is that they set it up at the last minute because last week it wasn't there. I imagine there are already people saving their spots now, and there are still 5 hours left before the game. And what do I mean by saving spots? It's already a mess up there.
This side is even more chaotic and messy.
It's because on this side is the big screen. This is the good one.
From here it looks really nice because the angel is looking that way. Just look at that. Over there in front, the number of people already gathering 5 hours before the game. They're already having fun, and I'm sure many of them won't make it through the whole night, but most of them will. And that's a pattern we've seen while following the national team. A lot of people who arrive early get there at 6 in the morning. By noon, they're already wiped out and end up leaving. And that opens up space for many other people.
Or they're also drunk and can't even stand up anymore.
And look at the number of police officers. There are a lot of public security personnel this time. I don't know if it was the same before. I'm telling you, in Guadalajara, we never saw this many and things got out of control. In fact, there were some viral videos of people knocking down the door and getting into the fan fest because they closed it very early. And in the Zocalo, I remember the same thing happened, which is what happened to us at the opening. Lately, some videos have gone viral that say the same thing. Mexico or artificial intelligence, and I think this is the perfect example. Just look at the robot with the angel. Let's see. They're already trying to throw the robot up in the air. And something that's become really popular here throughout the whole World Cup is making foreigners fly, but apparently also robots. This hasn't even started yet, and we're already seeing some incredible characters. For example, back there we saw a Spider-Man fighting with a bear mascot. We've already seen a robot. Over here are the feathered ones, so typical of Mexico City. Taking pictures with the Scots, who, by the way, Scotland could be our next rival, so I don't know why they're taking pictures right now. We should wait and see what happens. I'll tell you why.
Why? Because you have to keep your friends close and your enemies even closer.
Yes, well said, Bicho. I celebrate. Here you can see the behind the scenes of the news. Here they gather people, make them shout, and then they appear on TV, and the host doesn't even know what to say.
Wants to fly, to fly. Wants to fly, 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 to fly. You want to fly, to fly. You want to wants to fly.
Wants to. Thank you.
That was started by Pablo. No, Pablo was the one who started it. Wants to fly, inciting?
Inciting the mess.
Pablo just sent the TV Azteca reporter flying. By the way, I think there's no one like Martinoli, but I know opinions will be divided on that. So I ask you, where do you prefer to watch the game? What do you think, Pabliche?
Well, yes, for me, Dr. Garcia and Martinoli. For me, yes.
44 for me. Football doesn't exist without them, sorry.
How much is the cleansing? 50? 50? Let's see, I'm going to get a cleansing because 50? Yeah, I need it. To start, I'm going to tell you the truth. Noelia and I bought some tickets for a game in Los Angeles. And if Mexico got second place, we would get to see them, but they got first place, so we lost everything. So now I'm going to get the cleansing.
Garcia, thank you very much.
Brother, could you explain to me how the cleansing works?
Look, the cleansing works like this. That is, all the bad vibes that you bring, we remove them and they get transferred to us.
And how do you purge them?
We get rid of them through dance, by dancing, through dance.
And Copal, right?
And
Copal. Perfect. Thank you very much, brother. Are those corn cobs? Yes. And can I record them? Yes. They're beautiful. What are they? Little corn cob skewers, right? Yes, little skewers with cheese and chili. They're awesome. Where did you buy them?
What do you need them for?
Do they sell them here? Yes. How much are they? How much? What for? They're 20 now. They're worth it. Let's do it. They block the traffic, but apparently these pedicabs are the only ones that can get through. They sure have guts because they go right through the crowd, and I'm sure they're going to make it all the way through the Angel area. Do you know how much a pedicab costs, Pabliche?
I'd be lying if I told you I did, right?
Another thing you can only experience at a World Cup in Mexico is spiritual cleansing rituals on the street right before the World Cup. Normally you can see this in the Zocalo, but this time you can find it at the fan fests. At El Angel in Chapultepec Forest, everywhere there are people performing spiritual cleansings. What's up, Pabel?
He asked me if I was Jewish.
He just walked up and asked if you were Jewish. I told him no, and he waved his hand. I wonder if you'd said yes, would he have invited you to a special party for Jews or something?
Maybe, and they have their own World Cup community.
The number of elements, public security officers surrounding El Angel. Another thing I had never seen before, and honestly it looks like something out of a science fiction movie. It's the barrier that surrounds this roundabout, which is covered with posters of missing people, and it says there are more than 130,000 missing you. Was that there before Pablo Pabliche, or is it due to the World Cup?
I think it's been there from before. Honestly, the issue of disappearances is really serious. What time do they get here?
Well, it depends too. There are people who come and arrive earlier. Honestly, I left a bit late. Why? Because the game is going to start a little later, you know?
Of course. And how is it on game days?
Honestly, it does get really crowded because there are a ton of people. Well, right now you don't see much going on, but later on there will be a lot more activity.
Do they use the service more or less?
Well, actually, people usually do use it quite a lot, mainly because you can get around faster, right? Yes.
And how well can they move through crowds? Is the pedicab, for example, allowed to pass?
Well, it's not exactly allowed, but with a lot of caution, yes, it can be done.
Let's go over there. So the three of us fit here, right? Perfect. Get in for Furby.
That's so cool.
It's funny that I was born here, but this is my first time taking a pedicab. But I'll tell you, look, I lived in Toluca for 20 years, and the rest, well, we've lived elsewhere, and I don't know if there were pedicabs back then.
It hasn't been long for me, just about 2 or 3 years, that's all.
That makes sense, yeah. It's just that we live in China, so now we're rediscovering the city. And you, when did you start with the pedicabs?
Well, look, I started with a bicycle pedaling it myself. I did that for 3 years, and now I've been with this one for 3 years.
And how can someone get a license for a pedicab, or how does it work?
Well, I was able to get into this because I had already been working with bicycles for a while. And the other thing is that I belong to a corporation, so our corporation is kind of connected with C-Mobile. And from there, well, they said they were going to release these new models, especially electric ones, so there wouldn't be so much pollution.
These are already 100% electric.
Exactly.
Exactly, it's really cool. And
How long does the battery last for you?
Well, it usually lasts me the whole day in general.
And where do you charge them?
We have a charging center here in Pino Suarez, right by Plaza 151, And
Do you have to pay, or is it included?
base, we have to pay. For example, I'm paying 3.50
3.50 a day?
per day. So from there, it covers the storage fee and the parking space. I mean, it covers everything.
And how does it work? Do you rent the cycle taxi, or do you work for the company?
Well, you could say we work for the company, but there are several who already own theirs. And,
how do you get one and what does it cost?
well, there are different prices. There's this type of model and there are 2 others. These are called Aztecas, others are called Moscos, and the others are Maestretas. Those are like little balls, and these are 120.
130 with everything, including the permit.
No, this would just be the car.
No.
Just that, and that way they charge you a little more for it.
Now we're in the Zona Rosa, which is very beautiful and lively, especially at night. Many people come here to party, but I've only been here once in my life. I recall a nearby subway station, though I don't remember its name. We came to experience the World Cup atmosphere, and it's fantastic. Many people are walking by in national team jerseys, and of course the vendors took the opportunity to sell all kinds of football-related products, starting with the World Cup. Here, as a piggy bank, even trumpets, clappers, and balls. And on the other side, we even have shirts for dogs. Let's see how the dog shirt looks. Excuse me, brother, how much is the dog shirt? 120, 120? For sizes 10 and 12, 150? For sizes 10 and 12, how do we figure out the size of 7? No, I think it should be a 6. Anyway, it stretches a little, right? Well, a 6, all right. I always wonder how the vendors organize themselves, you know? Because now they're everywhere, they're even using the statue as a counter, so to speak. And on both sides of the street, there are little stands. So, no, I don't know how it works, but it really adds a lot to the atmosphere because you can buy everything from noisemakers and caps to flags. And if you want to sit down and have a cantarito, well, there are all the bars in the Zona Rosa, and there are quite a few of them. A World Cup in Mexico wouldn't be a World Cup in Mexico without Dr. Simi. For those who aren't Mexican, you should know that Dr. Simi is like the mascot or the character of a pharmacy chain, which are these here, the Farmacias Similares. And as a marketing strategy, I don't know if it was on purpose or just by pure luck. This little doll went viral all over the world, and to this day it has even reached China. Greetings, Doctor. Dr. Simi, thank you. See you later, Dr. Simi. He wants to fly, and even the most famous Mexican restaurant in the city where we live over there in China has a wall covered with Dr. Simis. So now all the Chinese people ask, and who is this curious little doll? Now we're arriving at the Insurgentes roundabout, which is where the subway station is, and well, we wanted to come and see what the atmosphere was like around here. But honestly, I'm surprised by the number of t-shirt vendors, and look, if there are so many, it's because they're all doing well. But I really am surprised by how much money soccer generates, both officially and unofficially. Noelia and I have checked Adidas stores for the white jersey, but it's sold out everywhere. And the only way to get it is as a clone version, or on the street, or as the unofficial version. And another thing I really like about the city is how everything is decorated no matter where you look, whether it's street art or monuments. This city never stops. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Chaotic but beautiful, and that's why I love coming back so much. Plus, it's always in tune with the times. For example, right now all of these are World Cup themed paintings. Here is Ashlyn Harris. I honestly don't know who she is, but she's holding the World Cup in her hand. Do you know who Ashlyn Harris is?
I'm not sure, but I think this mural shows soccer players or female players who are part of the electric community.
Could be.
I sing to its volcanoes, to its rocks and flowers, which are like talismans.
Of the love of
My loves.
magical Mexico, things you can only find in this country, like you're about to pass by the Insurgentes roundabout and you find this here. A group of people from National Security giving a mariachi concert.
With genuine mariachi level talent, it was impressive, and just 20 meters away from the public security mariachi band. We came across the beautiful Insurgentes roundabout, which today welcomes us with an extremely festive atmosphere. In fact, over there they have bands playing live, people dancing, fans wearing their jerseys full of excitement waiting for the match, and of course a bunch of influencers. I already saw that there are a lot of people around with cameras interviewing others. Sorry if this video ends up being redundant, but for us we're experiencing this for the first time. It's been a long time since we've been to Mexico, let alone at a World Cup. We haven't experienced it. I was born in 91, Noelia in 96, and Pablo I think in 2000.
Me, yes. Look, now in Mexico City, and foreigners who come can learn Spanish. Look, cancha means field, balón means soccer ball.
50 meters from the mariachi, here they've got cumbia music. There are people dancing all the way up front.
Of the feathered performers here,
Presenting us the best of our culture. Hi, my Spanish name that my parents gave me
Castilian,
is Edgar Amilcar Paisa Contreras. My Nahuatl name is Mapuli Tezcat. My Mayan name is Joptijax, and my Otomi name, which is from my ethnicity, is Putayaxi.
and who? From birth, did your parents give them to you? My parents gave me the colonial name, they gave it to me, and the ancient name, the pre-Hispanic name. My identity was given to me by my grandparents.
And do you speak Nahuatl? No, Nahuatl isn't my specialty.
In Nahuatl, I would like to learn Otomi, which is where I belong. I see that you are
About to
present the ball game, right? Well, yes, we are going to do.
an exhibition of the ball game, and
We are going to remember what we were before and what we are now.
how did you get started in the ball game? Because it's not like you can just go anywhere and learn, dude.
Well, I got started thanks to the Temazcal. At the Temazcal, I got in touch with my brothers who were spreading the ball game. And that's how it came to my town. I was at a festival, the Pulque Fair in my town. There was dancing, there was this Temazcal offering, and suddenly it appeared, the ball game.
And they train for the ball game, so do they have training sessions where they get together to practice?
Yes, we train every Wednesday in the plaza of Ocoyoaca. That's my town, and also in my town called Nignenbutehua, which means place of the fish, San Pedro Cholula, Cholote, Cholote Capa.
Do you have a league and everything?
Well, we don't have a league. We want this to grow so that the neighboring towns can compete against our town, which already has a team made up of 6 members. We want the neighboring community to be a team we can play a match against. That's why we come here to Mexico City, to reach the level that my Nahuatl brothers have, because they move more, they're more consistent, and they're better players.
For anyone unfamiliar with the ball game, how would you describe it?
I can tell them that this is what keeps us standing. For us as Mexicans, it gives us that daily spiritual fight to get up, to admire death, to admire life. Since they are both powerful blows, the game of life and death goes beyond just a game. It's a daily life, it's a constant discipline. For me, it's the duality of good and evil that we have to keep in balance. Like yin and yang, it's the game of the cosmos, the game of the universe, and...
How do you play? I see you have 2 balls. Are both in play? What are the rules? How many players?
Well, the rules right now are contemporary since there are several communities that are re-emerging and being revived. They're being taken up again. Currently, the rules of Sinaloa are respected. And we know that there are several types of courts, there are different types of games, not just the hip game, there's also the elbow and knee versions.
And how many players are there?
On one court, up to 10 people can fit, 10 against 10.
10. What are these balls called?
This one is called Luna Blanca, Nesti, from Mesli, that's its name. And this one is called Hiari, which means sun. They are made by our companions who are more experienced, who have traveled paths to reach the artisans who have preserved these traditions. The way rubber is molded because the ball game has been so deeply rooted in their way of thinking. It comes from a tree and goes through a vulcanization process with slow fire in clay pots. They pour the rubber, dissolve it with various liquids, and if the rubber runs out, it could be tragic for Mexico because we don't plant trees, we also need to plant more trees. And the trees grow in special places in these communities that are, well, known as the land of the moon, the land of rubber.
Are both used at the same time in the game?
No, only one is used, which is the main star. This one represents the sun and the moon.
How do you choose between the sun and the moon?
Well, it could be because sometimes there are offerings where the ball is set on fire. When it's set on fire when the ball is on fire. When it's set on fire, it's more related to the sun. Because of the flame, because of the father heat, because of the father flame, well. We've also had to play with balls, for example, like the one that gives it, well, the essence. They have this way of feeling the energy, like they like the night, they like it when people focus more. It also has a lot to do with women. The moon is also closely related to thought and coming up with ideas. And if there's a full moon and you think positive things, well, the energy from the full moon attracts that person.
There's a lot of symbolism here, isn't there? Which will you use now?
I wanted you to use...
Mine? Is this yours? Yes. When does the show start?
We're going to do the ritual after this, the dance.
Let's see. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, brother. It's a pleasure.
Greetings to my brothers from Jaguares Azules and to Tommy's team.
Now let's move towards Chapultepec Forest because they say there's a place there called Aldea Global where you can try food from all over the world, and for that we have to take the subway. And this is one of my favorite stations because it's really decorated with the pre-Hispanic culture of our country. Few stations worldwide look like this. Each station in Mexico has its own unique style. One of the things we like the most is that many times there are exhibitions, they practically turn it into a museum, and this time there are stations with exhibitions related to the World Cup. So let's take the subway and we'll see you at Chapultepec. What a beautiful station, right, Furo?
Yes, it's really cool. It reminds me of the Museum of Anthropology and History in Mexico City, yes?
It's like taking public transportation, but at the same time soaking up culture. We get off the subway here and suddenly you find this epic advertisement. You see a little container in a Mexico jersey advertising marijuana, and it's not an ad. But I found it curious, especially coming from China, where all that is forbidden. Remember that China had a problem with opium during the Opium Wars. And since then there's been a zero-tolerance policy for any kind of substance, so it's very hard to see that, and people in China see it as a huge taboo. I wonder what my brother's girlfriend will think when she comes here in 5 days. One of the things I like most about this area is that everything is close by. Right in front of us is something called the Global Village. We just had to walk from El Ángel for about 20 minutes. And right there in front is the Global Village where we're supposed to be able to try food from all over the world. In Chapultepec Forest, you can also see the castle in the background and it looks beautiful. And we came here really hungry and ready to try some international flavors. Look at how many people are already heading toward El Ángel because a lot of them are going to watch the game, and we actually did it the other way around. We went to El Ángel first to record. How's the atmosphere before it gets busy? Now we're off to the Global Village, but first a stop for the famous Suave Suave Crema. And honestly, I had never seen it up close before, and wow, it's really ugly. You know, I don't like to focus on the negative, I usually focus on the positive, but this monument is very interesting, very ugly.
Also, I feel like it doesn't have any personality. I mean, I don't understand how it represents our Mexican culture or our history. It's 100% minimalist when we Mexicans are very maximalist, right?
Welcome to the Global Village, right? I saw it in Ari Tenorio's video where he showed lots of food from around the world, but I don't see the food stands here. Maybe they're further in. How much is the fruit? 30? I'll take one, please.
Don't run just because I'm recording. Just move and take a fruit. Don't worry.
Perfect.
Grab it.
Don't worry, Perfecto. Where are you from, young man? From Toluca. Welcome.
Young man.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, folks from Tolmex.
Perfect.
Young men, friends, some water, a honey cocktail, folks. We're leaving, friends, even for 10 bucks. Friends, 10 peso waters. Guys, people wearing the jersey, we're giving 10 peso waters to national team fans, bro.
Say no more.
Only from Marino and Jamaica, since the others cost more.
One Jamaica, please, and a little fruit, please.
Thank you, a fruit. For the young man, whichever you like. Young man, whichever you like.
Which one do you want, Urfi?
What else do you want me to do, bro?
Perfect. Hello, I think the camera...
Well, I don't get paid to yell.
Bro, I want some jicama with chili. Grab it.
Just jicama.
Watch out for the bees. If they sting, then what? What are you doing, bro?
Max and Noelia on YouTube, give them a shout out.
Give the channel a shout out, bro, so more people come over and buy.
Young people, right where the fancy crowd is?
Yeah, hopefully Mexico wins soon so we can celebrate at the Angel of Independence.
How's it going to end?
Who knows, but hopefully they win.
Hey, young man, what are those baby dolls?
They're from a religion, young man. We use them for luck.
What religion?
Yoruba from Cuba. He's a santero, bro. That's why he has dolls there. Santeros sometimes believe that the dolls have spirits or something like that, and they kind of act as their protectors. How do you know? I once met someone who was a santero. Actually, that person's mother was a santera, and she held Santeria gatherings at her house.
And well, this is the thing about the videos. We were looking for something people called Aldea Global, where you were supposed to be able to try food from different countries. We arrived late and they were already taking down the stands. Here's proof they existed. I saw in Ari Tenorio's video that Spain's stand didn't bring anything. So if you want to see what Aldea Global was like, I'll leave the link to Arisita's video so you can watch it, because we already missed it.
We arrived really late. We arrived late?
But anyway, here you can see the other side. There's the Morocco stand, the Vietnam stand, the Brazil stand. We missed out on tasting the delicious international cuisine. But anyway, that's not going to stop us from enjoying the atmosphere, because the Angel is already starting to fill up and later we're going to head over there. And it's already obvious that game time is getting closer because look, this area is already starting to empty out. A while ago there were a lot of people here, but now everyone is heading to the Angel to save their spot. We're literally experiencing the calm before the storm. Because once the game starts, and especially if Mexico wins, I'm sure this city is going to go wild. That's why many say maybe Mexico doesn't win the World Cup because we couldn't handle the celebration. But I have faith. I have a lot of faith that at least the 5th match will happen and the 6th one too.
We'll have to see what happens since it would be unprecedented.
Look at the World Cup cat. How cute the World Cup kitty is. Oh, she's beautiful. It's Doris. Her name is Doris. Well, she's gorgeous. And does she walk around like that with the leash and everything? Cleopatra like Cleopatra, right? Ha! What? How beautiful. 5 in the afternoon. And this is already starting to get out of control. It's already packed. It's starting to get hard to walk around here, and I wouldn't be surprised if they restrict access. There's actually a checkpoint here to ensure people aren't bringing alcohol. Obviously, it's impossible for them to check everyone. In fact, they didn't check us, but I understand why they're doing it. The idea is to keep things under control and make this a safe event for everyone, but there are so many people that obviously they can't check all of us. They've already brought the DJ. Alice, we were here at the start of the video and this wasn't here.
Even Pachuquita saw it. Long live the country that made me stop thinking about Christ. Now you can see it too, and it makes you wonder if you can feel it.
For the number one in the Eastern Zone.
There are a lot of screens now. I see that what they've done is put up screens on each block so that people don't crowd into one place. But now there's dancing everywhere and you can't even hear my voice anymore. The atmosphere is crazy. I think it's shaking. It feels like it's shaking, but I don't know if it's the people or an earthquake. Did you feel it? Yeah, it was like an earthquake, right? I don't think it's the people. Wow, they're setting up the boxing. What's up, brother? Which one? Their supporters are here. Are they going to fight? And for what reason or why? They're probably boxers. They're boxers. They're going to put on an exhibition here, a show. For some reason or circumstance, they're going to set up a boxing exhibition around here. They're fighters. Now they're going to have a fight here in the street as an exhibition for the general public, and what better place to do it, right? Right now there are a lot of people everywhere, and just look behind me where we were this morning. There's no room to get in here anymore. Look, it's none other than the one and only Juan Manuel Marquez. And how was that? How did you meet him? How was it?
We have a press event with the champions.
World champions. So you also box?
I used to box in my time.
So what's up? How's the ring gonna be or what? Who's gonna set it up? No.
You just set it up.
Just the frame, only the frame. They're restricting access. Earlier access was free, but now the police are here and they've already cordoned it off. Now we're going to eat. We haven't eaten anything because everywhere we go we find a great atmosphere and we're afraid we won't be able to come back because it might get crowded. Are they going to restrict access here later because of capacity? Right now we don't know. They don't know. It depends. No. Okay, this is like the entrance gate to get to the Angel of Independence. Here they're checking bags, making sure people don't bring alcohol or drugs outside the entrance barrier. People are already bringing a huge party and they're telling me they don't know if they're going to restrict entry. Depending on how many people come, it might be that soon they won't let anyone else in. A while ago we were eating at a Korean restaurant and from upstairs suddenly we heard a lot of noise and people shouting, like people running. So I looked out the window and saw that people kind of went through the Arc de Triomphe, the checkpoint that's there, and they started running like a stampede inside. Many of them were celebrating that they had gotten their backpacks in, probably with bottles, and many others were just caught up in the excitement of running toward the Angel of Independence, and I wonder how much more capacity does the Angel of Independence have since it's already packed. Look at how we ended up, ha ha ha. Look at how we ended up, and this is just the beginning. Thank you. If you don't jump, you're a fucking. If you don't jump, you're a fucking. Czechia is going to try the national chili. Czechia is going to try the national chili. Niño Patria, you really are from the fatherland.
It was written. Well, they've already put on the broadcast for us. We have the match right in front of us, and there's a very vibrant energy around us. Let's see how our beloved Mexico does this time. This time I'm much more squeezed in than on other occasions, but honestly, the number of people here is impressive. Well,
yes, we can, yes, we can, yes, we can. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. No.
yes, it's claustrophobic. The situation is toxic.
Excuse me. Another one, another one, another one. Do you have any idea what an ordeal it was to get out of there? It was brutally claustrophobic. Noelia was terrified, but well, we made it out.
They just started moving.
Just like those are definitely pickpockets. There are groups who pickpocket by suddenly starting to shove people around. And honestly, I felt hands everywhere. I mean, they were pulling my jacket to get their hands in. And I have my fanny pack here. I keep all my things under this. But I did feel that they were trying to lift it to take my things, and I also felt tugs on the pockets of my pants. Those crowds, I've heard that what they do is start pushing you and try to take whatever they can from you. It just started raining right now. Imagine the chaos that's going to happen with people trying to get out. The atmosphere is phenomenal. Mexico City is beautiful. The people have an amazing vibe, but at the same time, I feel like at any moment you're this close to an incredible disaster. I mean,
I thought they'd crush me.
no, I'm telling you, in Guadalajara, we never feel this, but obviously there aren't as many people as there are here. This time they enforced an alcohol ban. Just imagine, with people already drunk. We left the Zocalo at just the right moment. About 20 minutes after we left, it started pouring rain like crazy. And if it was hard to get out, then I can't imagine how many people are trying to get away from the Angel right now. If what happened to us happens to them, but on a larger scale, God help them, because when it rains, people go crazy, and well, now we can't watch the game. We're trapped here on the corner of Hospital San Angeles, but if we get a michelada, then we're going to have a good time here in the rain. Benacoba. Goal! By Quiñones. What a screamer. What a screamer. Thank you. What a screamer. We set up our own fan fest. What a screamer. We're about 10 minutes behind, but it's all good. Goal for Mexico, and with that, I think the video comes to an end. We ended up watching it here, but we're having a good time because we've got some beer, a phone, and our health. See you.
Next time.
Saitien.